There were a lot of generals in World War II, but today we are going to focus on General George Marshall. He commanded a lot of infantry soldiers straight from World War I and World War II. Marshall was born on December 31st, 1880, in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. He was the youngest of 3 children and wasn't the best in school. When he got into the Virginia Military Institute, he was really good because he liked it a lot. Marshall graduated from the Virginia Military Institute in 1901, and in the following year he was married to Elizabeth Lily Carter Coles, and he was sent to the Philippines for 18 months to serve as a lieutenant for the 2nd Infantry. After Marshall returned, he continued to demonstrate his sharp leadership and problem-solving skills. He graduated with honors from the Infantry Cavalry School at Fort Leavenworth in 1907 and the Army Staff College in 1908. A little time later, World War I broke out and the U.S. government asked him to be the chief of operations for the 1st Army Division that was sent to France. The day that the world went to war again, George Marshall was sworn in to be the chief of staff by the U.S. government. He started out with 200,000 men in the army, but over less than 4 years, he had 8,300,000 men in the army. In the early parts of the war, he attended a lot of global conferences, gathering supplies and support for the Allies. He also helped plan Operation Overlord, which was a giant invasion on Europe. He was going to take charge over the operation, but then Franklin D. Roosevelt said that Dwight D. Eisenhower should lead the project. In November 1945, at the war's end, Marshall resigned his military post, but just days later, President Harry Truman persuaded him to serve as his special representative to mediate the Chinese Civil War. Marshall was unable to find a solution, however. When China later fell into communism in 1949, Marshall would find himself the target of vicious attacks by anti-communists like Senator Joseph McCarthy. The European economy was in shambles after World War II, and there was great political instability. Marshall believed that the United States' interests could be served with an economically strong and stable Europe. In June of 1947, Marshall proposed a sweeping economic recovery program, later known as the Marshall Plan. George Marshall died on October 6, 1959. If I could talk to him today, I would ask him what car he would like to have. I mean, he has a lot more choices than in the 1910s through 1950s.